agriculture and what is crop. Now we need to understand how do we produce crops. Now because it is not one plant or two plant or 10 plants that we are growing lots of plants, that is hundreds and thousands of plants, and that is why we are talking about crop production. So we have certain processes that are involved in this production and we are going to discuss it one by one. So what are the basic process that is required before we can harvest the crops that we want? The first one is preparation of soil. What does preparation of soil means? Like if you go to your home, you cannot simply just go and put a seed in the plant and expect it in the soil and expect it to grow. What will happen is you will put the seed, you will water it, you will put fertilizers in it, and then you will wait for the plant to grow. In the same way, the process of growing a crop is also a long and tedious one. So before we do anything, we start with the preparation of soil in such a way that the soil is able to support the plant by providing it with water, which is already there in the soil, and nutrients. We will study about how do we prepare a soil in such a way that it can support the growth of plant. Next, we are going to sow the seeds. Now, for sowing means putting the seed into the ground. For sowing of seeds, we do not simply go and we spread the seed in the field. We have to be very careful while sowing the seeds, because first of all we need to select the kind of seeds that we want to grow. We want to decide what kind of plants that we want to grow in that particular field. Again, like we have already discussed, that we decide that what plant we are going to grow depending on the climatic conditions that we have. If it is summer, then we will grow the kharif crop. If it is winter, we will grow the rabi crops. And also the kind of seed that we are growing is very important. So sowing of seeds is a process wherein we take few good seeds, we will study about it in detail, and then we sow it in the land or the soil that we have already prepared. Now once we have sowed the seed, what is the other requirement for the plant to grow? As you all know that in a seed there is a small plant which uses nutrients from the seed, and it needs water as well, because for our growth also we need nutrients, we need water to stay healthy. In the same way, the seed also needs water and different nutrients to grow. So irrigation is a very important part of the agriculture. Now you can also say that kharif crop, like we have already studied, needs rain. So because it's already raining, why do we need to irrigate the field? Because the rain is not in our control. That means it is an environmental factor and is subjected to modify. That means in one of the year you might get a lot of rain, in some of the years you might not get any rain and it can be a drought condition. That is why proper irrigation system is very important, and we need to water the plants using this irrigation system. So once you have put the seeds, we irrigate the field. Also what we do is we will irrigate once it has become plants as well. So we do not stop irrigation at any point during the agriculture. Next is protection from weed. Now what is a weed? Weed is a plant that is undesirable for us. Suppose we have wheat growing in a field, plus we find that few of oats, that is oat plant, is also growing along with wheat. So what do? We all know that oat is a food product for us, but in this case it will act as weed because it will compete with the main produce, that means with wheat, for mineral, water, space and so on. That means, so we have to protect our plant, that is wheat, from the weeds. So it can be anything. The weeds can be, the weed is the plant which we do not want, which will compete with the main crop that we are growing. Next we move on to the crop protection. Now once we have removed the weed, is it the only thing that will harm our crop? No. There are different other things which can harm our crop, which are diseases. There can be rodents or animals that are feeding on the crops. So suppose if we have a crop of, say again, wheat, and we find that there are mouses which are feeding on the plants, whether we will get the plant crop that we are getting. Suppose we want 1 quintal or 1 ton of wheat. Will we get 1 ton of wheat if the plants are destroyed by these rodents? No. That means we need to protect the crop from these animals as well as from different kind of diseases caused by different kinds of microorganisms. Next is the process of harvesting. Once the plant is mature and the plant part that we require is ready, we will harvest it. Harvest means taking out the plant part that we require for the product to be sold and to be used. So harvesting is a very important part, because the timing of the harvesting should be just right. We cannot harvest a crop before it is mature or after it is matured, because it will ruin the kind of product that we require. Next is the storage. Now storage is equally important, because once you have, say if we have just 1 or 2 fruits, if we have 1 kg of fruit, it's not a big deal to store that particular fruit. But when we are talking about quintals of fruits that we are producing, we need a proper storage system so that the crop that we have produced do not go to waste and is not spoiled. Plus, what are the different things that we need for storage? We need a place